that
I'm going
data.
to go with your recommendation, what you recommend, because what I read on the internet, 3% and, all that, I'm clueless in all of this. So I do have the revenue cap. I do have everything set up. So I'm going to go with whatever, you recommend.
Okay, sure, sure. No, no problem about it. We are going actually to, because like the way you've just been doing things, me and you just going and doing the research about it, doing the most suitable for us, and of course the one that favors us is a starter. So we're going to work with the one that favors us and also in a way favors the users that we are having. So let me go ahead and engage the system.
Okay.
So this is how it looks. Up here we have the buttons. Sorry, they are not responsive in a way, but going to make them responsive. So these buttons actually indicate the incident. You're going to see them in a presentation in a few. So this button, let me scroll down. We have the crashes, we have the dust, we have the work zones, we have the floods, and we have the rest areas, which again most of them are what we discussed or rather what we really needed to have in our application. And then that's the landing page. The second
Okay.
view, we have the trips where the user is going to be seeing all the trips that he has been having, and of course with the a little form of history of the incident that he or she has been encountered so far. We can change it to something else if you don't like it. Again, it's
No,
just something that I thought
okay.
will be useful to the user.
I agree.
Then we have another view that is now the alerts themselves, where the user can always, if they need to have something maybe they missed in the live site or maybe in the live dashboard, they can always come back here on the notifications or the alerts page and be able to see the past events that they need to consult and maybe or maybe take a screenshot and forward to a family that is around the area. And then of course we have
Okay.
now the profile
Is
page.
there a way to put like a timer on that? So, active alerts within the last
Yeah,
60
it's there.
minutes or something.
It's
So,
there. I'm not sure whether you can see it just down here. It's here.
okay.
Yeah,
Because if they're driving or something like that, and they forgot what they saw 3 hours
yeah.
ago,
Actually,
we can keep it in for like as long as their trip.
can you see it now? Can you see the time?
Oh yeah, now I can see it.
Okay, perfect. I've actually zoomed in. And then of course we have the profile. We have the profile of course with some of the things that I thought will be useful again to the user, because again like I said, these things are supposed to be useful to the user, not you as a developer. So I thought these things will be quite useful to the user. So that includes the number of trips, the alerts total received, the total number of miles that users who had traveled. And then of course we have the favorites, that if of course if the user just wants to save a route as a favorite, just in case they want to always come back to it without them having to manually get to positions themselves when they're using the app. And then of course we have the settings page, where again the page outlook or the page theme it's going to come from. So for example, if a user just wants to have a light theme, they can always come in and switch it here. And of course up there I'm going to also have a button that the user can always just click and play around with the page view, or rather page theme. So again, all these things are just mock data. Some of them have not been developed fully, but the moment the user just clicks this thing, they can be able to do away with, just have the configurations that they want for the system. So for now, I just needed to have the visual presentation of what the system should be doing, so that me and you can just get to a common page. And now, of course, I can be able to
Yep.
proceed with
No,
the development
I
of
agree.
everything that should be connected
I
to the
agree with you.
application.
I love the way it looks. I agree with you.
So let
Um.
okay, let's go
So
back. Okay,
oh,
let's
go
go
back
back.
down to settings.
I think I'm losing you.
Oh, can you go down one page?
Sorry. Oh,
There you go. Perfect. So we, as we go, we can change all these, but they'll open up into menus. Correct.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're going to have
Perfect. Okay.
everything
Because
connected to it.
I like how you really set that out.
So with that, I need us to go back to the landing page, or rather the dashboard, because that's the most important one. So let me restart it. need you to see it from the user's perspective. Just a little bit more. Give me a few. I'm sharing it back.
Sure.
So because I'm using Windows and some of it doesn't support most of the Mac features, it's not going to
If
have
it
a
does,
sound.
if it doesn't, I'll join the meeting here on my Windows too.
But it's supposed to have a sound tool. But let me share it for you to get the full picture. We're waiting. I'm actually restarting it. It's actually a big application, so it should take a few minutes for it to come back. Here we go. I believe you can see my screen.
Yes.
So let me I believe that's big enough for you to see, and also you're using
Yeah,
16
that's
Pro.
good.
So
So far.
I want us to go to the landing page, or rather the dashboard. So this is the very first view the user is going to be having whenever they are starting to interact with the system. So I want us to plan a route. Plan a route basically means a user setting a location that they're going to drive. For example, let's say they're moving from point A to point B, and they need to know the incidents that are along the way and that need to be that they need to be informed of. So let's of course we also have an area where the users can always scan the area around them. The favorite ones, these these are the routes, or rather an area. For example, let's say you stay in seat A, and you want to mark that particular point your favorite, so that you don't have to always manually come back to the app and set it up for you to see the surrounding incidents. You can always mark it as favorites, and then every time that you just need to see the incidents around you, you can just always come back here, and you can always trigger the system from that point. And of course we have the history. This is again another form of, just a feature for the user to play around with the previous activities that he has been having on the app. So let's see the current location. I've set it to Phoenix, so let's say it drops on as
Use Flagstaff and Tucson because they have to drive through
okay.
the city of Phoenix.
Okay,
So this way it gives you.
okay, just for the context, it's not connected to backend right now. What I'm doing is just a mock presentation for us to see
Oh, got it. Okay, I'm sorry.
the
I thought you were looking on a map on your other. Okay.
okay.
Now I do have a question about the vehicles.
Yeah.
Does that actually? I mean, I see it on the
The
maps,
moment I
but if
zoom
they're
out, is
using their
actually
GPS location,
sorry.
do they really need to select that?
Yeah, they can always select. They can always select if they are using a bike, they are using a truck, or even a normal car, or even a lorry. And then it's just
And
something
what
that
would
I
be the
thought will be
purpose of
useful to the
that?
user.
Because if they're going, so another module that we're going to go ahead to be putting in here, and I mentioned it earlier through the national parks, those websites are the maps of the trails. So, I mean, when they're driving, the application is always going to update their time and the area that they're recording by their exact location. It doesn't matter what vehicle they're in because it's going by where they are, correct? Or am I misunderstanding?
Okay, okay, no problem. I actually got this inspiration from the things that you shared, but I'm going to remove it anyway because, like
No,
you said,
I'm asking. I'm not saying it's wrong or whatsoever. I'm just
yeah,
trying to understand the basis of it. Does you know what I mean?
yeah, I
Because
understand actually because
or we could use that space for something else too.
I was thinking, do some of
We
these
still want to
activities.
do like dark mode or whatever.
Okay, I was actually thinking, do some of these incidents have different impacts on different vehicles? For example, if a user is traveling, or rather driving a very big truck, that particular user might be inconvenienced by an incident A with a bigger impact, while another user who is using a bike or even a smaller car will have a very different, again, impact when compared to the very very vast big lorry, because the big lorry, it occupies a big space, and of course it has issues with turning around, and of course using some routes. So I was thinking the experiences of these two users might be different. So
Okay.
that's why I included different vehicles for these different users. Again, if you don't see it
Okay.
as a priority, I can actually remove it and get to assume every user is going to have the same impact, whether it's using a bike or even a big lorry. We can have You can just assume that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then are we going to do the turn by turn directions in this?
Sorry.
Well, here, go ahead and finish, and then I'll go ahead and see.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Let's do it that way. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
So the system should take some time for it to start showing this incident. It's only that I didn't put this here just for illustration to show how the incidents will be appearing along the road. Of course, this thing is zoomable, so the moment I zoom in, you can see the you can see in some 12 cities in here. I believe you can see them, unless you also need to.
Yes. Yeah. No, I see the cities: Camp
Okay.
Verde and
Okay.
Rimrock and Cottonwood.
Okay. So this is how the incidents will be appearing on the route. And please remember, like I said, because users is not compatible with Mac, the moment this incident here, right here, occurs, it's going to pop up with a very quite not that aggressive tone, but it's going to have some form of notification or even a push notification to the user. So the severity of the incident, the more the aggressive the tone is going to be to the user. Again, not in a bad way, but just in a good way that indicates the intensity of that incident to the user. Because if we intend to have some form of communication to the user, we intend to have a different notification system for each incident, because an incident might be having more severity than the other, and so the way it's going to be presented to the user, it's going to be different. So for example, this one, the one that's in red right now, it's a multiple vehicle collision, so that means there might be a probability of a fire or something, so the user should be able to be far away in a way, or even if they are in an emergency or in an hurry, they should avoid that route. Basically, I hope you understand what I'm trying to mean. And then
Absolutely. And
and
then when you do that, and that's exactly what I wanted. So
yeah,
as they're driving,
yeah,
so right now they're in Phoenix where you just showed them on a pin, but all these incidents are ahead of them in 45 miles.
yeah,
So when they get the alert like that, it should say, like here, dust storm warning, 45 miles,
yeah,
or car crash, 30 miles.
yeah. And then, of course, if each incident is going to have a color or something, maybe if something doesn't have so much severity to the user, it's also going to use a friendly color that matches that particular energy at that point. And of course, each incident, when the user just needs to, for example, if an incident popped on the user's device and the user never got time to look at it, and the user just wants to get back to the incident, they can always click on it and get to have a very short summary of what exactly is happening on each incident and the exact miles in which the incident has occurred in reference to the route that the user is actually using to their destination. So it's just something that I thought will be helpful. So that's it. The other thing, if a user, maybe for example, they're 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 just around that, they just need to know their surrounding incidents, they can just click here and the system just scans for all available incidents around them. So that's it, unless there's something that's not
And
clear.
okay, and then what is the radius sent?
The
Like when
radius
you
send is something
hit
that I
that.
thought will be subject to discussion, me and you, but I thought not far away from the user, because, like you said, we need to actually have a very personalized, incident detection approach, whereby the user is only notified to the incidents that are directly affecting him or her. So we're not going to include a very long distance that again will be sending irrelevant alerts to the user, because if let's say we are a user is in Phoenix, we are not supposed to show him alerts that are far away from Phoenix. For example, let me find a city that we cannot show a user who is in Phoenix incidents that are happening here on this city that is called Tolesan, yet is in Phoenix and is not at any point interested in using this is it Papego freeway, is it Papego something, Papao,
Correct.
yeah.
That's I-10.
Yeah,
Correct.
we're not supposed to show that user these incidents of this town and is not using this route at all. So the radius should not be that big. If you getting
Okay,
my point.
I do.
Yeah.
So on that aspect of it, so that's part A
Yeah.
of the intention of this app.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do you have more to show on this route page? I'm sorry, before we go into that.
Not really. I'm actually done because first of all, I really needed to have the whole idea mapped out so that we can now go ahead and do the backend and all the
And
stuff, and
and
of course all the features that we discussed about, because most of them are going to be happening in the background now that we already have the visual presentation of what the users is going to be having on the app.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
So on this page, so I also want the user to be able to use it with other than plan a route.
Okay.
So that is going to be, so if I'm at home and, a storm is coming in, I should be alerted.
Okay.
If I just want to go pick up and I want to click whatever it is, weather, or if I want to see the flood gauges, to be able to go ahead to click to that. So that concept of it without planning around.
Okay. I think I love a way
So
of adding it without actually complicated anything.
right.
Yeah.
So the object is, so that's number one, it's going to be a safety application, safety awareness,
Okay.
with the addition of, hey, we're going to watch you as you drive.
Okay.
So, which is great. The landing page is awesome. I mean, even you can leave planner out there. We can put that in a square box. We can deal with that later. But I just want to be able that if the user zooms out, that they'll be able to see, let's say if they tap floods, they'll be able to see the rain gauges, or however we're gonna, link that up.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Because
No
so like
problem.
up top, like instead of crashes, instead of specific ones, we can come up with drop down menus, like in flood should be under weather, or maybe put a weather and then make check boxes for whatever API you put in there, rain gauges and what have you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I feel that one is a genius approach. We can have instead of this having these buttons, because we already have them here, we can have something like weather. We can also have something like we can now group all the incidences, just incidents, and then we can have another button that actually has another functionality or another API endpoint, such as what 3 now or something. Everything that we have
Right.
discussed about, we can have it here, and because there are so many of them, we can just have the most main ones, like let's just say 4 of them, and then we can just have a button that motivates the user to click more if they want to know, or if they want to explore more much about the app. So we can just have a button that helps
Right.
the
Because
use know that
eventually
we
we'll
have.
get to the national parks,
Yeah.
So as
Ah,
people
that makes
explore,
sense
they
actually.
maybe we could
Yeah.
put a button that says explore, and you could put state parks, federal parks,
Yeah.
and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes
Um,
sense actually.
and then if they're not on a route, these like the where it's the motor vehicle crash, the dust storm, and the road construction on the bottom, those should only be listed if they're driving. In my opinion, I don't think that they need to be there if they're not driving, because
Yeah.
they'll just be like using the application.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. That makes sense actually.
But when we have it up in the drop down menu, so in the red, you can put, we'll come up with titles, driving, weather, and then work zones could be underneath the driving, floods could be underneath the weather, and and so forth. We can come up with different categories as you come across the APIs that I keep throwing at you, what we use, what we don't use.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, actually, that makes sense.
Does that make things easy for you too? And then this way, at any time, we can go. You can create a one for test flight at any time, or if we get to once we get to a minimum viable app, it just seems to be easier if we do things checkboxes down like that.
Yeah, for sure. That one is for sure. So I believe I've shown you most of the things that I wanted to show you, and like I said, the, the hardest part of the applications, or rather when you create an application, it's you getting the 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 logic, all the logic that you want it to be behind the app. When that's clear, everything else just becomes clear, because as you can see, I've been able to come up with this very quickly, because we spend a lot of time trying to map out the user logic and the user stories. So I should be able
Right.
to integrate the of whatever that you have talked on this meeting, and then of course I'm going to change the name from Alert 40 to whichever name that you're going to agree
Let's
on.
go with that one for now.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to create just a simple logo. And here's why, because I'm thinking, and I spent again so many hours on this today doing the research. What do these words mean? I don't want it to be alert. I don't want it to be notification. I don't want to be an official publication, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I'm just providing you all the information so you don't need to open up so many different websites.
Okay.
Uh, but if you have a suggestion for, another name or something like that, I'm fine with that. But I'm trying not to stick out, but I'm trying to, and then I figure if that, then we can build this nationally rather than build separate applications and change names.
Yeah, actually building different application, that will be costly for nothing, when you can just scale up this one and just make sure that it
Right.
just covers everywhere, because that way we are going to be very organized, of course, track any cost that may come in between the the, the implementation, or especially on the backend and the APIs. So just having one app and then scale up, that will be the most viable way for the entire application and for the entire intent.
Okay. And I agree with you, and I think that'll be much easier.
Yeah.
And then figure out, the what three words, and then and that this is going to come in. A lot of people will go with this because there's thousands of people that hike in these mountains. Last night at 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody was still lost in the mountains, and it got to like 50 degrees. It was cold here, 50 degrees,
Okay.
but and people don't know where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I like how everything's looking. I like your onset. I think what we threw back and forth together. You definitely came up with a great concept there.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Thank you for that. So I'm actually trying to go through the names that I sent to you, because but first of all, I need you to have this thinking when you're actually thinking of this name of you see, like most of the popular application, and I'll give you an example, like Facebook or even Instagram. They all have one name. And do you know why they are popular? Most of these apps, they are popular not because of the name, but because of the value that they are providing to the user. And so when you're giving an app a name, the best way or the best approach is for you to think of one word. If you have to, then don't exceed 2 words, because most users, actually human beings, they are just ignorant by nature. So the moment you start introducing a third name, that means you're adding more work to their brain, and so you're going to add some form of friction to them. So the best way to think of it is to have the easiest name ever a user can always forget, whether they're in the bed, whether they just woke up from a deep sleep, they can just remember the name and say it out. But if they have to think to say the name, then that means it's not the right name for the app. if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And trust me, I went through hundreds of them. Here, let me just read you some of the ones. Um, Radar Vista was another one. Horizon Scan. I tried to use the word horizon, just again, trying to keep it to one word or two
Yeah,
words. So Vista Scan, I was going to do one word.
yeah,
Trip Scope was another one. But some of these ones that AI was coming up with, they had no like bearing whatsoever. But like Journey Pulse, Journey Aware, Shield, none of them just didn't click right, or they were too long, or Trip Guard. But it's not about just the trip.
yeah,
If it was about Arizona, that would be easier. If it was just about driving, that would be much easier.
yeah.
But I'm trying to incorporate everything. So I will continue looking by all means.
Okay,
I'm not dead set on that name, but so far that's what the closest that I got. My top three were Vista Scan, Radar Vista, but I don't want it to be classified as a weather app by using the word radar.
okay,
Or there was another one, Horizon Scan IQ, but then I thought IQ, where does that fit in?
IQ.
Correct. So like the names, Horizon Scan IQ or Vista Scan IQ. There were a bunch of other ones that I already deleted, like oh, here's another one: Observe or Observe IQ, Observe 360. Another one, I understand the meaning. I really like it, but it doesn't fit. It was SITU aware, meaning situation awareness. So you're aware of the situation no matter where you are, but that's too long.
Yeah. How is
Another one
Observe
that
360? What do you think of it?
so there. I mean, there's a ton on here. I had travel, journey, trip, hazard IQ, hazard shield. So I'm continuing.
Okay. No, just take your
So if you
time.
happen to
No
stumble
pressure
across
on it.
any, by all means, I'll be, I'm open to suggestions.
Okay. By all no means, I mean, we do not have an area on the name because right now, as you can see, I'm actually moving forward with the exact features of the app, and then the name we can always, incorporate it later. That one is not a
Okay.
pressure for now.
All right, yeah, because it's definitely not as easy as I thought.
Yeah.
Like the other one, Cactus Alert. Well, yeah, that one works great because it's specifically for Phoenix. That was easy. Actually, that one wasn't that easy to pick up. You still there, or did I lose you?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here. So
Oh, okay.
like I'm saying, you can think of the name and then we can add it later. For now, I'm just focusing on the exact features, and of course, now that you have proved the user interface, I can go ahead and start working on the back end. And of course, I'll change the entire thing that we have discussed about what needs to be changed on the dashboard. And on the actually, I think the main changes are on the dashboard. So I'm going to make the changes on the dashboard, and then if you want, we can get into a call, and then I can send you a screenshot. Anything that you want, we can do it, and then I'll start working on the back end and stuff. Most of the work have actually been laid on. It's only that I needed to have some mock-up data and also some mock-up API calls for you to see the whole picture from the user's perspective. Because again, this is always the most important part. You developing this for a user, and so seeing it from the user's perspective is always very important because that's the main dependent, or rather that the main priority. So this is always the very important approach, or rather the most the most part that we're supposed to have a priority on before actually getting to work on the back end, which again it's our logic and our thinking and so on. So I'll let you know when I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Unless you have a question that's not clear, maybe something that you might need to add on.
No, right now, like I said, I'm working on my list, making the categories for that landing page, and then a list of like drop down which ones APIs underneath that to make it a little easier
Okay. No.
because we don't need to add all the APIs all at once. You know, we
Yeah.
just need kind of basic to get launch.
Yeah.
Um, can you go back to that other page? How many spots are up there? Actually, can you send me screenshots
Yeah. 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 No problem.
of a couple of the screens so this way I can look because I'm writing it like everything down.
Yeah. I'll send everything. I'll send you every page. This one. I'll send every page.
And then this way I can kind of make my notes. So then this way, when you get down to each box, hopefully I'll be ready and kind of say, hey, okay, let's do this. Let's,
I'll send actually. Let me start. Let me restart everything so
yeah,
that
really just
let me
that
restart so
page.
that I can actually get the screenshot for you. Uh, about the $200, did you get a way of doing it? Because I actually need to move out. That's why I was kind of in a hurry. I need to move
I,
out before the
I
end.
am waiting. I am waiting for him to call me back, and it's 9 o'clock. I will follow up with him tonight. That's why I sent you the message earlier
Okay.
because it's not like I've been sitting here doing nothing.
Okay. It will be a very great help for me because I really need to sort something out before the month ends, and then these people start now again. Distract or mean stressing me again to stay here to pay another month.
Okay, I'm working on it. You see that, so I will call him back again tonight because they were traveling with the holidays.
Okay. It's actually quite late because I can see it's almost 7. Is it 7 p.m.?
It is here. It's 9 o'clock.
Oh, you're ahead with 1 hour. I usually use Atlanta time.
What's that, George?
Sorry?
I didn't hear you. It's 9 o'clock here.
Oh, I'm saying I usually use Atlanta time. That's why I was asked. I thought
Oh
you
yeah,
were
East
using.
Coast time.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. I will follow. I will call him here very shortly
Okay.
because I follow. Last I sent him a message was at 4 o'clock, and I didn't hear anything back.
If you just if you just not find a way, do not stress yourself. I think do not. I should not be stressing you with all this.
No, I'm trying to help you do what I can because you've been doing a lot of work for me. I'm here. I'm trying. You know that I've been. I mean, I went to PayPal, created an account, did all that.
PayPal, they hate us. PayPal, they are not friendly with us. They hate us. Those people
No, I
hate
know
us.
that. None of them are friendly.
And they are actually racist because most of the time they just wait for the money to hit your account and then they close your account and tell you come back to us in 6 months. 6 months with your money.
Right. And then that's what I saw that too, because it said, oh, do free business, and then it holds for 14 days. I'm like, what the hell does that sense? Why isn't it like anything else? It's like, if I want to do this, let me do it. Why are you putting all these freaking
And they're saying like that, and yet my account, I think for now has transacted close to, I believe it should be close to $4,000 right now, and they are treating me like that. They call my account a scam, which is not. I've been using the same account to be paid by companies because you see, when it's being paid by a company, they do not have control from the company. So, but when it's been sent from an individual, they flag it as scam. So I don't know. But one thing that I know, they're very racist. They hate Africans because most Africans have been using, especially the ones from Nigeria, they've been using PayPal to scam all the people from your country and also from Europe with the dating scam and so on.
Right. I mean, I understand what they're trying to do, protection, but it's like, you know, the ones that you punish are the ones that need it the most, you know?
For sure.
Because besides PayPal, what were the other ones that you were saying? I still,
We have PayPal, we have Remitly, we also have Sendwave. All these you have to use your card. I think I've sent you I've sent you everything that you need. In case there's something
yeah.
that is missing,
All
you
right.
can.
Let me follow up with them before it gets too late.
Okay. You let me know.
But I am definitely working on that still.
Okay. Just
Okay,
text
I'll
me.
give a call here
Okay, bye bye and see you.
now. Bye.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.